Awesome. And joining us in studio is the champion here today, Abby Locke. Abby, welcome to the studio here. Grab that microphone. Big round of applause for Abby Locke, our champion here today. Abby, before we get to you, a big thank you to the team behind the scenes, the Mountain Outpost crew, bringing all the best trail running content to your living room, wherever you are watching us throughout race weekend and throughout many race weekends this entire summer. Hardest working team out there. Corinne's got the YouTube up, so if you want to jump in the chat, let us know where you're watching from or drop a question in there. Maybe we'll introduce them into the conversation. Abby, congratulations. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. I'm happy to be here.
So not only did you win the race, but you set what is the course record on now the true course, and also you took the Strava segment, a very, very proud Strava segment.
Yeah, I looked at that afterwards and I was just like amazed. I mean, granted, those women were running the whole course, so that's really impressive, but it was really cool to see my name up with the greats of the sport. So yeah, that was an awesome day.
Yeah, we got our fingers locked, or fingers crossed, not locked, maybe locked as well, that you don't get any messages on a Sunday.
Oh, I know. I know. I bet I will though.
Yeah.
I bet I will.
Yeah, we'll see if like Joyce and Jeru or Judith Whiter or Lauren Gregory on a
send it up the hill.
Yeah, I'm sure they will. Yeah, I've seen Lauren's climbs on Kendall Mountain, and I've been chasing her time up there, and I'm just so impressed how she does at altitude. So I'm very excited to watch.
Well, you're a bit of an altitude gal too.
Yeah.
You're based in Durango, is what we gather.
Yeah, so I was born and raised in Cortez, which is like a little town very close. So yeah, I do a lot of my training in Durango and Silverton. So yeah, altitude's great.
And you do sort of a little bit of van lifing there?
Yeah. My fiance and I, we're in a minibus, and so we kind of bounce around and enjoy life. We'll be on the East Coast this winter, get to do some like technical trail and get better at descending because I'm really not there yet, but it's a skill I got to work on.
Well, you're very good at running uphill.
I love running uphill.
Yeah, you made it look easy at the top. Remy made it look very easy, and then all of a sudden we saw your finish across the traverse and those final switchbacks with Tim chasing you, and you also made it look very easy.
Tim chasing me at the end there was amazing because he was just yelling with the cowbell. He's like, one more turn. And my gap pace on my Strava was like 5:40 for that little bit where he was chasing me. I'm like, thanks, Tim.
Little
That's a
Tim
good finish.
boost.
Yeah.
So I remembered today after the race that we met at Broken Arrow, and which I'd love to talk about briefly also. But maybe first just share a little bit about your story with the sport, because obviously you are going to be a newer name to some people.
Yeah. I haven't raced a bunch, obviously, but I started when I was like in middle school, high school. I kind of took some time off when I went to college. I didn't run in college, even though my coach really wanted me to, but I just didn't want to burn out. And I'm really glad I didn't, because I like have a better relationship with the sport now. And maybe over the past like 2 years, I've started like really starting to dial in my training. My fiance is a great coach. He kind of like guides me in that process. And I also coach some athletes myself, so I learn kind of through that as well. But I love the sport and the community, and I'm super stoked to be racing more often.
Racing at a very, very high level. So then talking about Broken Arrow quickly, I recall that after the VK where you were 7th?
I was right behind Rachel Tomajic. Yeah.
And which was obviously a drag race of a VK.
Yeah, that was really cool because it was amazing to race with like the top women and be right there with them and like be like, okay, I can hang like on these uphills, you know. And then I like kind of got a last minute bib to race the 23K.
I remember because we chatted. And you're like, well, maybe you could get into the 23K. And I said to the race director, Brendan Madigan, I was like, hey, I know you got a lot on your plate right now, but we may want to kick down a bib.
So I lucked out with that. I had a tough day. Just like some variables came up, like a shoelace broke, and they're just like multiple things.
Finished 8th place.
It was a good day. It was a good experience, and I learned a lot. So. Yeah.
I mean, that should give you a lot of confidence. 8th place in a world-class event.
Yeah, it was amazing. It was amazing to watch Joyce and also Jade. Like Jade crushed it there.
She's been on a burner.
Yeah, she is. She's gonna do great at Canadian Mountain Running Champs.
Yeah. So I guess speaking of, will we see you double back on Sunday this weekend?
So I have a bit of an IT band thing going on. I am signed up and I'm really considering starting. I don't know how the descent is gonna treat me. So that is where I'm kind of gonna have to wake up and make that decision on race day, but I really want to race. So, yeah.
maybe run with the foam roller in your
I
back
know, right? Just like
pocket.
the lacrosse ball
Yeah,
and
the
like lay
lacrosse ball.
down and
That's easier than
TFL.
the foam roller.
Yeah.
If Tim's up at the top, he can just do some PT treatment on you up there and then send
Perfect.
you down the hill.
Yeah, chasing me with the cowbell.
Yeah,
For
exactly.
sure.
Race director, PT, he does it all.
Yeah.
So before we get to the race today, what else have you been up to this summer between Broken Arrow and Mammoth Trail Fest?
Well, I did a local race in Durango, the Kennebec Mountain Run, and that one's a super fun one. It's just another like up down, and I set the counterclockwise course record on that. So that was pretty exciting. But yeah, otherwise, like I haven't been doing more racing than that. I have my eye on the Trail Half Champs in Moab.
Awesome.
If the IT band cooperates.
Yeah.
So that's fingers crossed. Yeah.
I was going to say kind of like after the season that you've been putting together slowly, like, and obviously maybe Moab for the half champs later this fall.
Yeah.
But are you like, this is the time of year where we all start thinking about 2025 as well.
yeah.
I'm kind of curious what you've got your eyes set on.
I really want to A race Pikes Peak, just the ascent next year, because I just feel like there's been so many amazing times thrown down on that it's like it's a classic course, and I just want to see where I stand in that specific, like, I don't know, skill set.
Chase the ghosts of history.
Exactly.
The iconic mountain. All
Yeah.
right, so talking about today, 43 flat on the segment itself. I'll have to pull up the official finishing time, which I do have up here on my computer as well. So yeah, there's a distinction between the Strava segment CR and the finishing time. So you finished in 43:53. So a little bit of a delta there between the Strava segment and the actual race time. We saw you on the start line, and we were just trying to like identify people, and obviously it was difficult early in the day, and especially with somebody who's sort of like a lesser known up and comer at this point. Just tell us how it played out, because it seemed like you sort of had, like, as soon as we had a visual on the front running female, it was you, and so it seemed like you sort of had control of it.
Yeah, like a wire to wire win is what it looked like from our end anyway.
Yeah, I mean, everybody kind of went out pretty hot on that bridge start, but yeah, I kind of like, I feel like I positioned myself okay. I got a little bogged down behind some of the head, like the men who started out, but not too bad, because that single track is pretty thin, so I lost a little bit of time there, but otherwise I feel like it went really well. I'm notorious for going out kind of slow. So I tried not to do that this time, and I feel like it went pretty well. And then like right around, I want to say like the halfway point, I really was starting to feel terrible. Right, like where it got kind of rocky and you can't really rely on like rhythm.
Yeah.
I'm definitely a rhythm runner. So that's like something that always kind of messes with my head a little bit. But then, yeah, like once it started like easing up with the rockiness, it was kind of a lot more like an uphill treadmill grind. So I love that.
Sort of like a solo time trial.
Yeah.
You never were shoulder to shoulder with.
Not with
like
any.
Summer was second place.
Right. Yeah. But I was like kind of chasing some of the men. Like it was nice to like have
like in a
ninth
comfy
overall,
spot
right?
in the top 10 overall.
Yeah. And I did pass at least one man. I can't remember who it was, but I did at some point.
And you were like, nice.
Yeah, that's always fun. I'm like, cool.
I guess the other question that we had on our mind this morning was we got snow overnight. So there was snow up on the top part of the course. Was that a plus, a minus? Were you excited to see that?
I was excited to see it because I'm like, I love fall and I love, the beginning of winter. But I was like, that did change my shoe choice. I did go with the VJ Max 2, which is like an awesome choice for anything wet. Like I wasn't sure how it would be with like the rocks. If it's ever wet rock, like I always go with a VJ. So that was awesome. My original thought was the Pulsar 3, but just because it's a light and fantastic uphill running shoe. But I was happy with my choice today.
Yeah. One of the other things that we talked about during the broadcast was just the type of athlete that excels in these VK and VK adjacent type races, where it is just sort of a VO2 max sufferfest.
Yeah.
Talk about like the skill set necessary for just the pure uphill races. You said you're less confident in your downhilling ability, but it's a great skill to have, to be able to really push yourself uphill. So just the skill set required, and maybe any sort of training that you do specifically for these types of races.
Yeah, totally. So I mean, I've always been more inclined to uphill like running. Even when I was in high school, I loved the hill workouts that my coach gave me. I would just try to run as many reps as I could, which was crazy at the time. But now, like with training, I focus a lot more on, I'll do like a long tempo effort each week on a climb that I really enjoy, or like that I want to kind of like go after a segment or whatever. And then I'll also do some shorter intervals like VO2 work, like 1 minute hills or 3 minute hills. And that's kind of my other piece of the puzzle. That's like the higher, like top end work.
Ouch, those workouts are painful.
Yeah. We're both in studio being like, we're semi-retired.
That's
I need to get back into those 3-minute uphill.
We should do some workouts.
Yeah, I'm definitely more of like the intensity. Like I enjoy that more than I do the long run. Like hard workouts are fun.
Well, congratulations. Any other
Thank you.
comments, questions for our champion?
I think the biggest thing is that we've got our fingers crossed that your IT band feels good on Sunday.
Definitely.
Me too.
Because we'd love to see you in that field.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
We'll be keeping our eyes out too.
Yeah, and I'm gonna drop your Strava activity in the chat here eventually by the time the show is over. So everybody who's watching, go follow Abigail Locke on Strava. We'll celebrate the segment while it lasts. Maybe it'll last more than,
I don't know. These women are fast.
But congratulations. Thanks for coming in studio. And like Corinne said, good luck on Sunday if you take the start line.
Thank you so much.
Big round of applause for our champion, Abby Locke.